The snow began falling before dusk, thick and quiet, the kind that swallowed sound, made the forest feel padded, unreal. By the time the sun vanished behind the black pines, the world had narrowed to the beam of my headlamp and the crunch of my boots. I shouldn't have stayed so long. I told myself one more trail, one more mile. The ranger station was only a couple hours back, and I'd hiked it worse. That's what confidence sounds like right before it kills you. That was also when I heard my name. Evan. It came from somewhere ahead, soft and stretched thin, like it had traveled a long distance to reach me. I froze, breath fogging the air. No one else was supposed to be in this section of the park. The winter closures had started weeks ago. I knew that. Evan, the voice said again. It sounded like my sister. Claire had died 3 years earlier in a drunk driving accident. I haven't heard her voice since the hospital unplugged the machines. My hands began to shake. I turned slowly, sweeping my headlight across the trees. Snow-coated trunks stood shoulder to shoulder, identical and unhelpful. The forest stared back without blinking. This isn't funny, I said, hating how small my voice sounded. Something moved. Not fast, wrong. A tall shape shifted between the trees, bending where no joint should bend, folding itself sideways to slip behind a trunk, barely wider than my chest. My leg caught it for half a second. Too tall, too thin. Its skin looked like old parchment paper pulled tight over bones. Antlers rose from its skull, branching and cracked, tangled with frozen bits of fur and something dark that might have been hair or dried blood. The mouth was the worst part. It was stretched into a grin that went far past where lips should end, splitting the face open like it had been carved there. Teeth crowded together, too many, uneven and yellow, chattering softly as if it were cold. Evan, it said again, this time from behind me. I ran. Branches whipped my face as I tore through the trees, lungs burning, heart hammering so hard I thought it might burst. The snow deepened, grabbing at my legs, slowing me down. Behind me something followed. I didn't hear footsteps. I heard chewing, a wet, deliberate sound, like meat being worked free from a bone. Don't run, Claire's voice called. You'll make it worse. I screamed and didn't stop. The trail marker came out of nowhere, a wooden post half buried in the snow. Relief surged through me so hard I nearly collapsed. Civilization, safety, rules. I spun around and it nearly crashed into me. Up close, it smelled like rotten cold iron. Its eyes were sunken pits filled with frost, glowing faintly in my headlight's beam. One long skeletal hand reached out and rested on my chest. It was light, barely touching me, and yet I couldn't move. You were hungry, it whispered, its voice shifting. Claire, my father, my own. You remember? Images flooded my mind. Weeks of rationing after I'd gotten lost, the gnawing ache in my gut, the moment I found the other hiker's pack abandoned in the snow, and what came after. I sobbed. I didn't have a choice, I said. The thing tilted its head, antlers scraping against a tree. Its grin widened impossibly. No, it said gently. You made one. The forest went silent, even when the wind held its breath. When the search teams found my campsite 2 days later, they discovered my boots neatly placed by the fire pit. My pack untouched. No blood. No tracks leading away. Only deep gouges in the trees, high above the ground, as if something tall had paced there for a long, long time waiting. And when the snow falls heavy now, rangers swear they hear a voice calling out from the woods. Soft, familiar, hungry.